Morgan was heading to this weekly improv show, but his friend whom he usually went with was out of town. So he posted an open invite on a university Facebook group. Morgan got exactly one response from this random girl, Alice. She came to the show and they hit it off big time. Cue the coffee meetups, the Netflix binges, they started dating. Life was pretty good for a while. Then came the first messages. This man Morgan had never met, named Eric, was sending angry Facebook DMs detailing why Morgan's not a good boyfriend and that he's hurting Alice and how he just doesn't understand her like Eric does. Morgan was a bit annoyed, but mostly confused. He talked to Alice about it, but she just hand-waved it away. "He's a jerk," she said. "I don't hang out with him anymore." It wasn't the most satisfying explanation, but aggressively jealous guys aren't exactly an anomaly. So Morgan just blocked him and thought that was the end of it. A few months passed by. Alice had planned to study abroad, so when Morgan came back to school, she was already halfway across the world. It was only a few months, he thought. No big deal. But over those next few months, Morgan would become Facebook acquainted with a myriad of strange individuals. There was Leah. She sent an array of messages justifying Eric's anger, reiterating that Morgan's relationship was unhealthy and toxic, and that Alice and Eric have much better history. She also included a blurry photo of a girl sitting on top and making out with a skinny guy. Both of their faces were obscured, but Leah swore it was Alice and Eric from some time during the summer. There was Nick. His Facebook pic was a guy on a skateboard in front of a sunset. He readily admitted that he had feelings for Alice, but made clear that neither he nor Eric had any right to be upset about her not being with them. He said that Leah and Eric were liars and he tried to set them straight. Relative to the others, he seemed semi-okay, but he let slip a few really bitter-sounding messages. There was Hannah. She showed up after Morgan blocked Leah. She claimed to be a childhood friend of Alice. There was Chris. He would send one cryptic message every once in a blue moon. He never replied to any of Morgan's messages. There was Mark. He apologized for the actions of the others. He tried to fill Morgan in on the group's dynamics and history. In the physical absence of Alice, he offered to meet him to talk. They set up a time and place, but he never showed up and Morgan never heard from him again. There was Sarah, there was David, there were so many. This was all spread over a period of time. Morgan usually blocked or stopped hearing from one person before hearing from another. Meanwhile, Alice is extremely difficult to get a hold of. Even when she responds, she's really dismissive of the whole subject. "I don't know what to do," she said. And then Morgan gets an accusation. One day Alice sends him the question, "Who's Mary?" Morgan tells her the truth, that he doesn't know who Mary is. She sends screenshots of texts she received from an unknown number. In them, the sender wrote that her name is Mary and that she's in love with Morgan. "He told me he loved me," Mary wrote. "He slept with me and now he has not called me back." He started to get texts from Mary. She asked why he hadn't called her, if he meant what he said. She said she had seen Morgan on campus, here, there, at this event, at this particular time, and every time she would say a location, he realized that he had actually been at that place at that time. Was he being stalked? Morgan started looking over his shoulder. He didn't know what to do. He had no face and no name to report. He calls Alice and tells her he can't do this anymore. Morgan had no clue what was going on, but he knew somehow that they were all involved and he wanted no part in it, and he cut off all contact with Alice. Then all of a sudden, everything, the messages, the texts, they all stopped. A friend of Morgan realized something soon after. Barely any of Alice's friends had their faces on Facebook. Eric's pic was some photo of a Tumblr blog full of cute nerds. The photo of Chris was an obscure photo of Justin Bieber. The photo of Nick, the skateboarder, was a stock photo. Hannah's photo was art from a book ad. David was apparently a Korean pop singer, and they also noticed something else. All of their photos were created around the same time he met Alice. To this day, Morgan doesn't understand it. Fast forward 2 years, he gets a text from an unknown number. The number looks familiar, he thinks to himself. And then he realized it's Alice. The text consists of one word. Sorry, Alice, but let's not meet again.